Hello everyone, I'm Crazy Hillbilly.
And I'm Uncle Bill.
Welcome back to Crazy Hillbilly Cooking Adventures on this beautiful fall day. Today what we're going to do is a fall stew, which is going to consist of some pork, this is country style ribs we've cut up into bite-sized chunks. We're going to have some potatoes, sweet potatoes, onions, carrots, celery, some garlic, butternut squash, acorn squash. We got salt, pepper. We have star anise. We have some mace. If you don't have mace, you can also use nutmeg in its place. We have cinnamon and some allspice. And then we have a deglazing liquid here. We're using a homemade apple wine. You can use apple juice or apple cider as a replacement.
We have our fresh herbs as well. We're going to be using, this is just a seasonal herb. It's got thyme, it's got, what all does this have?
Thyme, sage, and rosemary.
Rosemary. We're also going to be using a few bay leaves. If you don't know about bay leaves, you only use a few. Very strong. We're also going to be doing a honey beer bread. Just sounds delicious to me. But we'll tell you more about it when we come back. We're going to start doing some prep here so we can get this going for you.
guys, we decided to make this fall stew today in our bread, but we needed the oven to make our bread in. So we come up with this idea here. We have a couple of stacks of block here. And we got our fire underneath, and we got a steel plate here. And we got about an inch gap in the back so that the flame comes up. Then we got our top plate, which is, we got a heat gun. Sorry about that, should have had it ready. Our top right here is reading about 475 degrees. We got right at 700 on the inside. It should be good for baking our bread in the oven and cooking our stew on top. I closed up the fire hole here so that the air draft feeds from the bottom of the fire up. That way we get a hotter flame. All right, Junior, you want to give me a hand over here? We're going to get this cooking process started. Okay. We get our pot down on the top. Go in with a little avocado oil to get everything started seared. Then we're going to let that heat up, and then we'll go in with the meat. All right, now our oil is really good and hot there in the bottom of the pan. We're going to go in with our pork now. We're going to get it seared off and browned. A little bit of butternut squash peel in there, got in there. All right, guys, so we're going to brown this off, and we'll get back with you in just a minute. All right, guys, now that we got this all browned off real good, we're going to move it out of the pot into a separate bowl, and then we're going to get our vegetables in and start sweating them down. Actually,
Yeah, here, Junior. Junior, help us out.
I want to get the back up there and kind of tilt it up a little bit for you.
Oh, yeah. Look at that goodness.
After we've taken our brown meat out, then we're going to go in with our onion, celery, and carrots. Carrots.
Carrots?
Carrots. That's that new vegetable.
And don't forget about them back there garlic.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's a little garlic already in this here as well. We're going to let those sweat down just a little bit in those meat juices, and then we're going to deglaze the pan. Now these are sweated down just a little bit. We're going to go in with our deglazing liquid. And they said we're using a homemade apple wine. You can use apple cider for this if you don't want to use wine. I'm going to pull this up off the heat for just a little bit. Help break all that good flavor on the bottom. Let it break loose and get all mixed in. There we go. Back to the that handle's hot. Back to the heat. And I don't know if we mentioned this before. I don't think we did. We've got 4 yellow onions. We got 1 whole plant of celery, 1 whole clove of garlic, 1 pound of baby carrots. Now we're going to go in with a handful of rosemary, thyme, and sage. We're going to throw that in now. Those are the pre-packaged poultry blend. So it's just one package of what's about the grocery store. I like to take my bay leaf and kind of crush it a little bit. We're going to put 3 bay leaves in here. I like to crush them to get the flavor started. And then we're going to start just getting that going together. Oh my Lord, if y'all can smell this already. We're going to give this about a 30 seconds to a minute to get all happy together, and then we're going to start adding stock and some of our remaining ingredients. Guys, we ended up giving this about 3 minutes to get all blended together there. Now we're going to go start adding our stock. We're using a vegetable stock today. We're making a big stew today because we're feeding the whole family. So we're going to go in here with 3 quarts of vegetable stock. And then after all the other ingredients go in, if we see that we need to, then we'll add a little water if we need more liquid. Oh yeah. That smells so good. Okay, we're in the tray there. Now on this tray here, we got our potatoes, we got our sweet potatoes, we got acorn squash and butternut squash. We got 1 whole butternut squash, 1 whole acorn squash, 4 regular potatoes, and 4 sweet potatoes. And we got them all cut up into bite-sized pieces. We're gonna go ahead and put that in now. Oops. All right, Junior. You gotta bring me the brown pork back. We'll go ahead and add this back also. All right, we're gonna stir this up here. Give it a little. All right. We're gonna need some. So at this point, we're going to salt to taste. I can't tell you how much salt to put in it because everybody's salt preferences are different. We're going to go extra because we will be adding some water to this. Same with pepper. Depends on how much you like. Some people like just a little bit. We're pretty heavy black pepper kind of folks. This is a little mace Alternative to mace, if you can't find it, is nutmeg. It actually comes from the same plant. We're going to start off with about that much. We can always add more later. You can't take it out if you put too much in. We have some cinnamon. We got star anise. Now with star anise, you really just want to start off really small and light with star anise. It's very strong flavor, little goes a long way, as well as allspice. Just start off very slowly with your allspice. You can always come back and add a little more. You can't take it out once it's in. That's good. We probably will be adding more of the seasonings to it because we're going to be adding a little water to get a little bit more liquid with our stew here. Probably about a quart of water. So we'll touch up the seasonings after that. Just do it all by taste. And we'll probably take care of the rest of that off camera and get started with our honey beer bread.
All right, guys. Crazy Hillbilly and Junior got the stew going good, so we decided it's about time to start working on our beer honey bread. First thing we're going to need to do is not this. We're going to need to grease our pan. So what we do is we just take a little butter and literally rub it around your pan, around the outside edges of it, so that nothing's going to stick to it. This is the only reason I'm doing the middle on this is because it's got grooves. You want to hit some more? Okay, go ahead.
I'll pinch this off and finish greasing this up.
Okay.
And
while he's greasing, the recipe calls for 3 cups of self-rising flour. This is a half cup, so gotta do 6 of these. Should have been counting. I believe that's number 5. And that'll be number 6.
Before you put the lid on
yes,
that,
sir.
Bill, I'm going to take just a little bit of this flour and where we greased it, just go around and sprinkle your pan with a little flour, and that helps with the non-stick. We don't want no stuck bread.
No. So it calls for 12 ounces of room temperature beer. It states you can pretty much use any kind of beer. We're just using what was in the house.
A darker beer would probably be really good in this recipe.
Yep. I'm sure this will be one we do more than once. You get a half cup of honey. We're using a quarter cup of honey. We're using a dark wildflower honey. And the other ingredient, if Crazy Hillbilly will throw some salt in here.
It calls for 1/4 teaspoon. We don't got a measuring utensil, so we're just going to guess at it here. And that's for helping rising. I usually like a little extra salt in my bread anyway. It gives a little more flavor.
All right, I'm gonna start working this. You just keep mixing it around until it starts getting to a good doughy consistency. It's getting doughy.
Give you a hand there, Bill.
Go right ahead. Just trying to get everything mixed in proper. When it starts getting good and thick, reason I'm in gloves right now. Every time I've ever worked with dough, making anything from pancakes to just doing maybe an onion blossom, it is like concrete when it gets stuck to you. What do you think?
A little bit more. We got a little dry there in the bottom.
Yeah. And there's some professional baker gonna watch this and go, what is that man doing? Hey, we just cook by feel. We don't really know. This is something I've never tried before. And we're about to try cooking it a way that I've never seen anybody else cook one before either. All right, I think that should be good.
Okay. All right, so we consulted with the old internet expert, and on this dough, you just mix it until it's well combined, and you do not over mix. Once done, once well blended, we transfer it into our pan. Get it all good and spread out there.
All right.
Remove that.
And we have one more ingredient. This is a 5-ingredient bread.
And then it says just to pour melted butter over the top of the dough. Now, and that was a 1/4 cup.
All right. Now
we transfer it to the oven, and it says 375 degrees for 40 to 45 minutes. I believe our oven might be a little hotter than that, so we're just gonna keep an eye on it.
Yeah, we are 642 degrees.
Yeah, the bottom surface of our oven is 642 degrees. So we got the sort of rack to raise it up. We'll keep an eye on it and keep you updated. I believe maybe because our pan is a little bit broader than the one that the recipe called for, so it made it a little thinner. Our bread got done in about 15 minutes. And We'll do a toothpick test here, and stick toothpick down in the center and pull out. It comes out clean. It's nice and springy. So I believe it's done, and it only took about 15 minutes in this oven. All right, guys, we're back here. Everything's cooked, simmered down for a while. We've let it simmer probably for about an hour. Potatoes are fork tender. Both the regular potatoes and sweet potatoes. The squash is still holding its shape. So we're fixing to get this off the stove and get it in a bowl.
Oh yeah, look at that.
All right.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Well, guys, we're sitting here at the dinner table ready to eat. A couple of things we did want to tell you is our bread. It cooked a whole lot faster than we expected, and we used a really thin bread pan. This would have turned out better if we had used a cast iron, something with a heavier bottom. We did have to trim the bottom off because it did get a little burnt. Other than that, it turned out perfect.
Absolutely. We've sampled everything already. Not gonna lie about it. Everything tastes incredible. We're gonna cut into some of this bread, and we're all gonna get some food going.
And for a quick note, we ended up adding a half a gallon of water after adding the stock, and then the seasonings you saw me put in, we pretty much doubled that, just to bring the flavor back up after adding the water. So that concludes this episode of Crazy Hillbilly Cooking and Adventures.
Yeah, we really do appreciate you coming by to join us. Please like, subscribe, and come back for the next video.
Yeah, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. We're trying to get that 1,000 mark, so please help us out. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Y'all, we're gonna eat now. Have a good one. Oh yeah.
Ooh,
So hot.
that's good right there.